Alright, so I'm trying to platinum over 100 games in a list created by the community. Now, if I can't do this before the channel hits 850,000 subscribers, then I will shave my head bald and look like a base character from a video game. So make sure to drop a like and subscribe. Alright, so today, platinum Destroy All Humans 2. I did the first one recently, and it was shockingly fun and hilarious to do, which is why I had high expectations coming into this game for today, and boy oh boy was I not let down. The game is a total of 45 trophies, including the platinum. It takes around 20 hours to get and has 0 missable trophies, making our day somewhat easy. The first step is to complete every single main story mission while trying to do all of the optional objectives on the way, and upon loading into the game's first area, I got a trophy for entering the Bay City, which is the American themed part of this game, naturally coming first because I always do. But this game has 5 areas total, spanning across the globe and even into space. Each area has around 6 main missions on it for you to do, with numerous collectibles and then side missions also after. But this game's story runs a lot like the first one, and just has you do silly things the entire time, while also having major beef with the Russians. This is such an American moment, I love it. Anyways, the first part of the game just had us get through an intro section basically, and it ended off with us getting a love gun that makes people happy and dance, because the Bay Area is full of hippies in this game who are always happy, of course. But I got a trophy right here from mashing a button to speed up an action like the body snatch, for example, which is when you swap bodies with a human and have a limited time to explore as them before being noticed again. Lord knows I'm swapping with Sydney Sweeney, I can't lie. Anyways, quite some time after that, I got to do a mission in the UFO, which didn't actually play a massive part in the second game, and I think that's an improvement over the first one because the UFO gameplay is very strict and tight, if you will, in terms of you can't really move around freely and are stuck in 2 different views, which is a bit annoying. But after I did this mission that had us flying around and destroying blimps full of drugs in the Bay City, I entered the Poxmart, which is the upgrade section of the UFO in this game, and I just bought an upgrade for the first time for a trophy. The main story then took us on an absolute trip, and we were fighting against the evil hippies of Bay City, and I got to do a boss fight against their leader named Bongwater. Now that's a historically accurate title for a hippie leader, I guarantee it. But the fight was low-key challenging because there was just drugs and chemicals in the air, making my character not exactly move right. Oh yeah, and we also had to kill him 4 times. I guess Bongwater had extra life force because of the copious amounts of toxins in his body or something. There was then a cutscene after I won, and we saw this hippie straggler rant on a microphone to his Russian comrade who he was working with. And after we took him out, I got this trophy pop. I then had to unlock a landing pad, which is a feature in this game, and I can't remember if this was like that in the first one, but you can't just land your saucer anywhere and instead have to pop her down in a landing pad around the map. It's kind of annoying if you aren't aware of that like I was and spent 10 minutes trying to get out of the thing. But anyways, to unlock the landing pad, all I had to do was raise my cop level to tier 3. And after I did, I unlocked the landing pad and got another trophy pop right here. Back in the upgrade scene, next I unlocked my first capstone upgrade, which is just the final tier for any upgrade line, and I got a trophy from that as well. I then deterred away from the main story a bit because I was confused on how to begin the next one since I'm an idiot. So I did an odd job, which is this game's version of a side quest, and this was one of the first ones right here, which had us protect a transmitter because the dude who is our boss needs a new mothership after the old one got destroyed in the game's intro cutscene. So we had to call back to the homeland, and they obviously refused because what idiot lets their mothership get destroyed? A clear sign of insignificant space skill. Han Solo will be disappointed. So then I kind of just had to defend the tower from tanks that came in a straight line and were almost as easy as your girlfriend is. But I did get a trophy after completing that odd job, so that's cool. I then just did odd jobs for another hour or so because I was still confused on how to get to the next map for the main story, and eventually I did figure it out. All you had to do was go in the map and press R1 over to the next map and then select it. Who would have known how easy that was? And upon entering Albon, which is the UK map, I got a trophy, of course. Now this map or area featured a new enemy into the game, which was a sort of infection cell that turns people and creatures into worse monsters than they already were. I've seen British teeth, and these monsters weren't far off. But they also have a very high damage resistance, and I had to boss battle one of the first people to turn down here. My solution was to use anal probes because, that's pain. Not that I would know, of course. Oh my god! But after defeating the guy, I got the first main story trophy right here. Next, I was just upgrading my good old ship because the poor guy hasn't got much love so far, just like when I was a child. But after a few upgrades, I got a trophy, so it wasn't all for nothing. How nice. I then got the boss battle this dude named Posin Boy, which I swear to God is the clothing brand of the United Kingdom. And if it's not, then it's definitely still something over there because I know that damn name. Actually, that might just be some dude's name, who knows. But I got a trophy after I beat him in this game, so that's all that matters. Oh yeah, and this area of the game featured a lot of Soviet connections as well because apparently they are in deep in every area of the world. No wonder there's so much beef. But we had to destroy the Soviet embassy compound. Now that is an important sounding building. Also, the damn thing was hard as shit to destroy, but I did do it. I then had to report to Natalya, who was our main mission giver for this area of the game, and also throughout the game in general. She's kind of the new side character and also got introduced in this area of the game, by the way. I didn't mention it yet since I've already already shown her personality many times in this video without you even really knowing. God, she's great, ain't she? Drop a like for Natalya. Come on now, brother. Anyways, there actually wasn't any more trophies for the main missions in the United Kingdom map, so I moved on to the next one, which was in a Japan area, I'm pretty sure. I honestly don't 100% know, and I probably already said the wrong country. I promise, I'm not racist. I'm just retarded. But this one has a lot more confusion in it. I'm not really sure what's going on. There was Russians, obviously, but then there was also the Yakuza, white ninjas, and black ninjas. Maybe this game is racist. Anyways, it ended up with us battling a giant fucking sea monster that looked like a Godzilla ripoff. So maybe we are in Japan for sure. I think so. But the fight actually took forever because the damn thing again had an insane damage resistance compared to even earlier boss fights, which is just swell. I love shooting at enemies and seeing the damage bar not move an inch. It's a fun pastime of mine. But after I took out the sinful creation, I did get a trophy as you'd expect, so that's nice. And that was it for the Japan map, so I then moved on to the next one, which was in Russia this time. Finally, the Soviet influence actually makes sense. But the map was kind of lame, I'm not gonna lie. It legit just had snow and angry citizens. I finally understand now why Russians just want to blow up everyone. They live in one of the coldest, harshest environments. If I couldn't see a Sydney Sweeney wannabe on the beach at least once a year, I'd probably also want to blow stuff up. But this area's mission surrounded us trying to save Natalya a lot more because she is kind of an ex-Soviet and sort of a traitor. Now everyone knows how Russia deals with traitors, so these missions were kind of hard to do. But that's mostly because of the game's AI and how annoying escort missions are. I don't even want to start. I probably rate for 30 minutes. It's the only bad thing about this game, and that's honest. So during one of them, I got annoyed at the world, and instead of breaking a controller and posting it on my Instagram story, go follow me. I instead just probed Russians in the ass over and over to feel something again. And they definitely felt something because I did a perfect one 3 times in a row for this trophy. I then got bored, so I did 2 throwaway trophies next. First for going into the Furanagami collection, part of this game, which just shows you collectibles that you've gotten. I then quickly revisited a mission I actually needed to because I scuffed up one of the optional objectives for another trophy. By the way, the optional objectives in this game, which are needed to be completed on every mission for a trophy, aren't actually that bad for the most part. There is around 1 or 2 that you legit need modifiers for, but comparing that to the first game, it's almost a joke how easy these are in this game. And it's also why I love it so deeply. In the Russian missions, by the way, we also encountered those infected I mentioned earlier. The official name for them is, and I quote, Blisk. So it sounds like a tea or sparkling water brand almost. But we had to f with them a lot in this area, and there was a mission where we went to their like home grounds and I got chased by them a lot. But I apparently outran one of the spores right here for this trophy. I then had to battle their warship, and my god, this is one of the few moments in the game that I genuinely struggled with. And why don't you guess why? Yup, it's because you had to use the fucking UFO ship, and that thing sucks almost as much as the other platinum YouTubers' upload schedules. Many times I was just on 1 HP in this area, and I didn't have a lot of spots to heal in since healing requires consumption of both enemies and objects. But we were fighting in a wasteland essentially, so yeah, it just kind of sucked. My conclusion was eventually to just try and fight it as much as I could and do less running, which I did do. And it turns out that was a smart idea, which led to me finally winning the fight and moving on with my life. Also, the slight eradication of the Bliss forces in this trophy, but who cares? So now we're on to the final area of the game, which was a Russian moon base. Lord help us, here's the trophy. The moon base missions, however, were kind of underwhelming. I actually couldn't tell you a single damn thing that happened throughout any of it worth mentioning because we kind of did nothing. It was sadly boring, and the moon gameplay is also frustrating because some stuff just doesn't work good without gravity. Who would have known? At one point though, I apparently got 3 enemies lined up and hit them with the dislocator for a trophy. No clue how I did that. So I know I just said this area's missions suck, which they do, but the final one was actually fun and very cool, which makes sense because it's the final mission of the game. Of course it's gonna be good. Unless it's not, I don't know what I'm But this final mission was split into 2 major parts. The first part was us escorting Natalya throughout the entire Blisk Tower base fortress thing. And I don't think I ever want to do another escort objective in my life. I might end it early. Anyways, the second part, which is the super cool part, was a massive, and I mean ninja low taper fade level of massive boss fight. It's against a guy named Milenkov, who was the Russian leader and also turned on them and into a monster, as you know, you can see. But this fight is so damn hard, you have to use both the alien probe with at least 5 of them in his ass, while simultaneously zapping him or hitting him with any other weapon at the same time to even do a tick of damage whatsoever. That is because this boss only takes damage when you outdo his natural regeneration from his armor, which is complete bullshit. But it did make for a fun fight and a very hard one. Also, this optional objective can suck my nuts, and that's real. But after I finally won the fight, I got a trophy called Lobster Bisque for beating Milenkov the monster. I also got the trophy for completing the story with all optional objectives finished as well a few moments later. There was then an ending cutscene with Natalya and our character sitting on the beach. A happy ending, and I'm sure not the only one because Natalya and him are like a thing, I think, I hope. I wish it was me. So now it's time for stage 2, which was for me doing all the side missions and collectibles, at least mostly. The first trophy I got was from throwing a cop through a donut, actually. Shout out to the first game. I'm almost 100% sure this was a trophy in that one as well. I then just spent like 2 hours doing collectible grinding, and if any of you go after this platinum, just know that you actually do not need any of the green collectibles at all. Like, it's legit not required one bit. So you can save yourself a load of time if you just don't go after those like I sadly did. My perfectionist, completionist complex definitely got the best of me here, and I am ashamed. Time is money, never forget it. But the first collectible trophy I did get was from smashing every human hive in the game. There was one of these in each area, and it was literally just like a home base for humans that come running out once you start lasering it. I also destroyed a toilet on each area of the game as well, which was disgustingly awesome. And if you're an ItsIlusion viewer, you know what's about to play right now. I then got an easy trophy from just changing the appearance of our character in the menus, and you can do this at any time, so it really is just easy peasy. Next, I did a trophy called PK Slam from slam dunking a basketball on a hoop in the space level. But my god, this was so buggy. Either that or I just can't play basketball, because I've jerked that ball right into the hoop over and over with zero success. However, I did get it, and here's the trophy. The next level specific trophy I did, however, was much easier from dropping a citizen off the bridge on the British level. I feel no remorse. Back on the Japan level finally, which got less touchings than the average ItsIlusion viewer does from a woman on a yearly basis. Real. I had to climb that big ass tower in the middle of the map, which was kind of hard, but also not, because it's just climbing a tower. And once reaching the top, I got a trophy for doing so. I then did numerous trophies in the game gotten by skating a certain path throughout each of the maps to an iconic location within them. Most are actually super easy, especially if you know the locations already. I think one of them took me a few tries, but it was because I did it backwards. So yeah, that'll do it. But I'm just gonna throw the pops in here since they're all very similar and easy to get. I then did do my last 3 collectible trophies, which I have left almost finished because edging. And the first one I did was from getting all the posters in the game, then all the music tracks from the floating CDs around the game, and finally from grabbing all the artifacts, which are glowing red items and scared me at first glance. Alright, so that's basically all the trophies in this game aside from the side quest specific ones, and completing all the side quests overall. Now, I did this on purpose so I could both feel better about having more trophies towards the platinum, but also because the side quests in this game aren't really the greatest. Yes, they do have a plot and some are actually very funny, but they are also very similar for most of them, and also there is so many it gets old very fast. I think you have to do 15 total for one side quest line, which is kind of insane, and most big AAA story games don't even have that many quests for a single side quest line. So yeah, that's unfortunate, but I still did enjoy my time more than usual because the game is just naturally funny and silly, which makes even a boring task like playing side quests for 6 hours straight relatively fun. And I finally, after literally hours, finished that long ass side quest chain I mentioned, which had 15 parts and made me slowly cripple away. The big reward for all of those, by the way, was a new weapon that also is kind of shit. But I got a trophy, so let's move on before I crash out again. The next side quest I did literally right after that had us confront the Shaman Lama, who is this evil dude behind a lot of hippie shit. I really don't know, it's a fever dream sometimes with this game's plot, but we got to finally kill his ass, and after killing him for the first time, I got a trophy. The mission that required us to kill him as many times as I had died so far in this game. Now, thankfully, that was only like 5 or 6 times, but if you suck at this game and die like 100 times, then good luck on this mission, bro. Jesus always loved you, don't smash the controller. And I actually had to replay that mission a bit later because there's another trophy on it from killing the llama guy with his other dead body. Yes, it makes sense. And here's that trophy as well. Much later, I reached Russia and I actually got to fight a Yeti. Yeah, that's on God. The fight, however, was kind of lame, and mostly because I couldn't really see the dude. He was stuck in a tree. Oh, how I love this game like nothing else. Anyways, the next trophy I got was actually from doing every single side quest in the game. And my final one ended with me just doing another escort mission. I'm gonna crash out. Alright, no, I'm just kidding, but here's the trophy and we now only have one left. It's called Ultimate Smoothie, and it's from filling out the blender section of our UFO ship. This entails a new mechanic called the slurp machine, which can suck people up into it. So I then had to go around each area of the game and just kind of suck up whatever the people the blender wanted. And it was a lot of fun, but it also took like almost another hour of gameplay to do. Definitely the longest sucking session I've ever been a part of. That sounds kind of sus, I'm not gonna lie. Let me explain. Anyways, after 45 minutes or so, I did all of them, and then you actually have to go in and blend the people all up, which sounds bad, but it's fine. We got the trophy with the Platinum Trophy pop added on. So that was the Destroy All Humans 2 Platinum Trophy experience. Overall, I loved the game. Much like the first game, I just think this whole genre of funny game mixed with actual story and at least some plot is just amazing. It's everything gaming should be, and a lot of game companies nowadays don't have the same feeling as these games do, where you can actually tell the developers had fun making it. It really does show. So rating it out of 10, I'll give it a 10. And maybe partly because of the milkers on my screen right now, I'm gonna get demonetized, aren't I? Fuck.